Thanks, Lori. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Before I get into Tucson, I wanted to spend a few minutes just recapping where Hyundai has been, where we were last year, and where we're going forward. If you've seen this before, apologies, but I'll keep this part pretty brief. Going into last year, we knew it was going to be a very difficult year. So we borrowed this line from the Obama administration, which was never waste a good crisis. We thought that 2009 would be a chance to continue to build our brand, even though the economy and the auto industry were going to be in a little bit of a difficult situation. So we kind of went into 2009 with a three-pronged strategy. Great product, a marketing strategy we called Big Voices and Big Places, and then a couple great programs. So from a product standpoint, we were the #1 non-premium brand in J.D. Power IQS. We were #4 overall, just behind Lexus, Porsche, and Cadillac. So the quality story continues to be there. We had Genesis, which was North American Car of the Year. We also introduced a Genesis Coupe and Elantra Touring as well. So a lot of good products going on. And then from a marketing standpoint, we wanted to kind of move the company up into a more visible position. So we had a big presence in the Super Bowl, we had a big presence in the Academy Awards, and that started to get the company more visible to the market overall. And then third, we had a couple great program successes as well. So the first was Hyundai Assurance. So this was a job loss or vehicle return program where if you lost your job, you could return your vehicle. And that really seemed to resonate with consumers. It really kind of captured the attention of the American public and showed that Hyundai was really paying attention to what was going on in the market. The second good program success we had was the CARS program, the Cash for Clunkers program. The way that program was set up, it was legally effective from July 1st, but it was also set up so that NHTSA, that was the regulating body, was not actually going to be ready to actually administer the program for several weeks after that, till almost the end of July. So we decided to actually support our dealers by giving them funding to go ahead and start with Cash for Clunkers right from July 1st. That allowed us to get a head start on the program, and we did really well with Cash for Clunkers. So when you put all that together, 2009 ended up turning out pretty well for Hyundai, and you can see that by looking at this chart of market share. So we had already had 10 years of continuous market share improvement up to last year. And last year we made a big jump up from 3% up to 4.2% market share. It was an unusual year last year. We're not expecting anything like that this year, but we do hope to grow our market share again this year. So where we go from here. One of the things we use internally to keep us on track is what we call the ABC pyramid. So this is a pyramid with assurance at the bottom, a blue drive in the middle, and then at the top is connection. So in assurance started out as this job loss vehicle return program, but what we're doing is expanding it to be much broader. So we're expanding assurance to include the 10-100 warranty, roadside assistance, all the safety features, quality in the vehicle. So everything that gives customer confidence in the brand, that's all going to be under the assurance umbrella going forward, and that will kind of always be our base. In the middle is Blue Drive. So Blue Drive is our name for our fuel efficiency and environmental sensitivity initiatives. So we set out to be #1 in fuel economy. That was actually a goal we had, we set for ourselves to achieve a little bit in the future. As it turns out, we've actually been #1 in fuel economy since 2008. When the EPA went back in the fall and revised their 2008 model year numbers with actual data, Hyundai was actually already #1 then, and we're projected to be #1 in fuel economy of all brands in 2009 model year as well. Going forward, we want to grow that lead even more so. We've already announced that we plan to beat the 35.5 mile per gallon CAFE requirement considerably ahead of the 2016 mandate. So you're going to continue to see a lot of discussion about fuel economy by Hyundai and a lot of leadership there. At the top of the pyramid is connection. And what we mean by this is emotional connection. So in the past, Hyundais tended to be known as a pretty rational purchase. Great value, good warranty, lots of standard features. And we still have all that and more going forward. But what we want to have going forward is a little bit more of an emotional connection as well. And a lot of that is going to come from the new styling direction that we have, this design language we call fluidic sculpture, that's going to make the vehicles not only a smart purchase, but also an exciting, fun purchase as well. With that, we'll go ahead and get into Tucson. The new Tucson is one of the first vehicles, along with the new 2011 Sonata, that has this new fluidic sculpture design language. So you see sort of the flowing lines across the vehicle, a lot of sharp creases, and the sense that there's some motion and continuity around the vehicle even when it's standing still. This vehicle was actually designed at our Frankfurt design studio, and it was done with some refinement done by our California studio as well for the U.S. market. If you look at the rear, you can see again this kind of fluidic sculpture flowing into the rear taillights. You can also see the rear spoiler as well. That helps with fuel economy. So whereas that might tend to be something that might be an option or really standard on higher trim levels, we've actually made the rear spoiler standard on Tucson for the fuel economy benefit. Tucson also has a Hyundai First feature, which is a panoramic sunroof as well. This is available in a package on our limited model. So looking at the interior, I think when you get into the interiors today, you'll really like what you see. One of the things that you always want when you have a vehicle that's very stylish on the outside is to get in the inside and have the same sort of sense of style on the inside. So on the outside, the Tucson's really abandoned the old boxy SUV style for this much more dynamic style. On the inside as well, kind of abandoned the kind of conventional upright design for a very sweeping, flowing design inside. We expect Tucson to compete right in the heart of the small CUV segment, so competing against vehicles like CR-V, Rogue, RAV4. In terms of dimensions and how that stacks up against those competitors, Tucson is about 3 inches longer and about 1 inch wider, and it has just a little bit longer wheelbase than the old vehicle. So it kind of positions, especially in terms of width, positions it up at the top of the class, so it gives it a nice stance, a nice proportion to the vehicle. One of the things you want to avoid as you stretch the body a little bit is to have the body become more flexible. You want to keep a very rigid body. That gives you a good foundation to tune the suspension. So even though we made the body bigger, we actually made it stiffer as well. That's always one of our goals. And so if you look at this, this is just a bending rigidity comparison. You see quite a bit stiffer than Rogues, quite a bit stiffer than the last generation Tucson. Some other things that were done to the body were to take some measures to improve MVH performance. So things like the front strut, rear wheelhouse, rear trailing arm, there are a lot of areas that were reinforced to make the body tight to not resonate very much noise. There are also some things like having a layered sandwich panel, dash separation panel, firewall, more density on the hood insulator, and so forth. So between the body changes and